Hey everybody, welcome back to the BJ and Tuds show. Today we welcome on host of You're Wrong podcast, Kyle Borey, good friend of ours. Today we're just going to kind of run through a mock draft of the 2022 NFL draft. How we doing, fellas?
Not bad. Usually I'm in Yankee Stadium, but in the spirit of talking some college football, I am in the shoe, home of the 2023 college football champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Okay. Listen, you're not an Ohio State fan, are you?
I might be.
So it's funny. I actually texted Bacon this morning, and I was like, dude, I think I'm going to bet Ohio State to win the championship next year.
Hey.
This morning.
It's going to be a tough offense to stop. If they get that defense figured out, it's going to be game over.
I agree.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud can declare next year for the draft, right?
Yep. Because he redshirted, so next year's going to be his third.
He's going to be the number one pick.
Most likely.
Bryce Young.
We'll see about that.
One of the two of them. Okay. Anyway, so just a little note keeping here stuff. You know, we had some playing games last night in the NBA. The Hawks spanked the Hornets last night, won by 29, I believe. So the Hawks will go on to face the Cavaliers tomorrow. The Spurs ended up losing to the Pelicans by 10. So this will mean the Pelicans will go play the Clippers for the 8 seed and the right to go get spanked by the Phoenix Suns. So that'll be fun. Anyway, so let's jump right into this, huh?
I do have a quick thought about NBA while we were on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
let me stop sharing. All right, go ahead.
I might bet the Miami Heat to win the championship. What do you think?
I hate it, actually.
Now, do you hate it because I bet it, or do you actually hate it?
No, I actually don't like it because I don't think the Heat have that playmaker that, you know, the Celtics, the Nets,
like a closer.
76. Yeah, like Jimmy Butler, he's a great NBA player. He's a top 30 NBA player, but they don't have that guy where you're like, hey, we're down 2, go get us a bucket. They don't have that guy.
That's fair, but they have 4 guys that can score at any time. You know what I mean? I mean, Kyle Lowry is a good addition.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. The Heat, I like the Heat. I just don't know if they have what other teams have to even get to the finals.
That's fair. Maybe I won't bet it then. I think you just talked me off it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Thanks, guys, for saving me my money.
Hey, you're welcome. All right, let's jump into the mock draft here. So pretty much how we're going to do this is we're just going to try and talk this out, see where we can get, try to agree on a pick. And so let's get it started. So the Jaguars with the number 1 pick, what do you guys think? I mean, I think this one's pretty easy for me.
Yeah, I think it's a consensus that we're going to go with Aiden Hutchinson. Although I must say, I'm going to give my first hot take of this episode. I think Aiden Hutchinson's a bust. You know, I know he put up good stats in the Big Ten. Is the Big Ten historically known for good offensive linemen other than Iowa? You know, maybe.
I don't
sometimes
love Aiden Hutchinson, but I think he is probably a top 3 player in this draft.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Jags I don't think the Jags need to address offensive line because they did in free agency. They got Kim Robinson back and they got Sheriff. And then the other one I think is Kyle Hamilton, and you're not going to take a safety that high.
Yeah. Yeah, I think O-line's definitely out of the question, but I think it's really up to 2 choices here. And I need to give Trayvon Walker a little more love than we're giving him right now, because I think there's a pretty good chance that he could go number 1. And I don't think Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a bust, but I think he's going to be a pretty safe pick. But
yeah,
if you're going number 1, do you want the safe pick, or do you want to bet on a guy that has the potential to be really good?
See, I think Aiden is closer to being really good than Trayvon Walker.
Right now he is.
In my opinion. But I don't know. And the thing with Trayvon Walker, you know, you look at his numbers, they're like not much production, and the argument is, well, it's not schematically, he wasn't asked to do that. He was asked to set the edge and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, but what about passing situations? Pinning your ears back into the quarterback, still no number, like real production to back that up. So I don't know. I lean Hutchinson here. I would take Hutchinson if I'm the Jaguars.
It's tough for any Georgia D lineman to have those numbers, though. The amount that they switch in and out, the amount that they're killing teams that they're not even on the field for the second half of games.
That's fair.
So
It is.
That's
And
fair.
Tudsy, I like that analysis you gave about Trayvon Walker, or that's his name, right? Yeah,
Yep.
Trayvon
Yeah.
Walker. I mean, you watch Georgia, like he's not like a standout player because they have, 5 studs on the defensive line every year.
Yep.
But I should specify when I say Hutchinson's going to be a bust, I don't mean like he's going to be out of the league in 3-4 years.
You
I
mean for
mean-
number 1 pick?
Right, for the number 1 pick. He'll be like a very average
Sure.
player. I saw his combine stats and intangibles and stuff, and he has very short arms, which is hard for defensive end in the NFL. You get engaged by an offensive tackle, it's going to be hard with your short arms to get off. So I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. I also didn't watch much of him. I personally am a Thibodeau guy, but Hutchinson, I believe, goes number 1 to the Jags too.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do.
Okay. Aiden Hutchinson, first overall pick. Lions here. Lions are interesting. As you see, it says team needs quarterback. They need a quarterback. I don't think Jared Goff is the long-term answer, but not at number 2.
Yes. The thing is, we're not doing trades for this mock draft.
Yes, I forgot.
And I think that if they're taking a quarterback, they're trading back. So for our
Absolutely.
situation,
But also keep in mind they have the number 32 pick, and I think
Right.
this is really the only year besides 2013 where if you need a quarterback, you have to trade up. This year, I don't think you do. I think they can sit at 32 and take a quarterback if they want to.
and now I think I know who you were talking about before when we were texting.
Yes, but this
Yep.
is where I think they go Kayvon Thibodeau.
You think you have Thibodeau too?
I'd have Thibodeau at 2. I mean, all the, last year it was coming into like this year's draft before the college football season. It was Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be the number 1 pick. Yeah, he had a slow year. He was also injured, but he still has all the tools to be an elite pass rusher in the NFL.
He does. If you're going edge, I think you have to go Walker here.
You like Walker?
I do. I
I was
really
going to say
do.
that too, Tuds. I think, obviously this team needs everything. Dan Campbell is a defensive coach, which makes me think they're going to lean defense. I would say Thibodeau, but I guess a lot of teams are questioning his motor, which I just frankly don't understand because he has, passions outside of football, which is perfectly okay. But I think Trayvon Walker too, because I think, the Lions and the Texans, these 2 picks stump me, but I think the Lions could fall victim to looking too far into Trayvon Walker's combine stats.
Mm-hmm.
That makes
And
sense.
The thing is, I personally don't hate Thibodeau going at 2, but from what we've seen in the past month and us mocking out what we think is going to happen in this draft, I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. So, all right, let's slot Trayvon Walker here.
I go Walker too, but I'm going to be honest. Like, you never know. Like these 2 picks, like I said, stump me out. I wouldn't be surprised if they go offensive lineman. I wouldn't be surprised if they stun everybody.
They go Malik Willis, number 2.
Right. They could go corner.
Yeah.
They could do anything. Right. I don't know.
Yep.
All right, so now we're up to the Texans. This one for me is pretty easy. He's at the top of the draft board. It's Evan Neal. I think he is the best tackle in the class. If you want to make a argument for Okonwu.
Ikwonu.
I don't know how to say it. Anyways, if you want to make an argument there, that's fine with me too. But I think, put a tackle opposite side of Laramie Tunsil. I think that would be a lot. And they don't really need a quarterback. Davis Mills was the 2nd best rookie last year.
Yeah. So from me breaking down these top 2 tackles, honestly, this might not make sense. Let me know if it does. It reminds me of evaluating Patrick Surtain and JC Horn from last year. Surtain was does everything right, very technically sound, like great at everything. JC Horn was like that mean motherfucker that's going to go make plays and be a freak athlete.
Right.
And I see a little Ike Ekwonu in that. And I see Evan Neal as the Patrick Surtain kind of guy.
Evan Neal is very technical and sound.
So it's really what you want more out of those 2 options. Ike also can play guard, and he can do it very well, I think, in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which I think the Texans could value the versatility more than just a true tackle.
Yeah, they could.
And I also like Ike a little better, just a little bit.
Okay.
But it could go either way there.
And the thing is, in the NFL, like each team has their own scouting and whatever. So you never know like where these certain positions slate. So like if you told me the Texans liked Icky more than Evan Neal, I'm totally fine with that. I think they're both going to be all pros in their career.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with either.
Yeah. So to touch on what both you guys said, I meant to say this last pick, but I actually don't think the Lions or Texans take a quarterback. Like we said, this is not the year to take a quarterback. Next year's the year. If you're going to take a quarterback, you don't take them 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So quarterbacks ruled out. I agree they go tackle. I think, like you said, BJ, having 2 dominant tackles, especially in this league with the prominent edge rushers, is very key. Now, I've been back and forth on Evan Neal and Ekwonu. I think it really matters what kind of play style they're looking for, right? Like Evan Neal's more of like a lean, technical sound kind of offensive tackle, like you guys said, as to where Ekwonu is kind of like a bigger body, like a Mekhi Becton kind of sort of player. The only thing that makes me lean Icky here is that he's had 2-3 years of experience starting, as to where I think I've read Evan Neal only had about a year and a half. Now granted, he's in the SEC. So I'm gonna go Evan Neal here, but would not be surprised at all if Icky comes off at 3.
Okay, so I mean, my original pick was Evan Neal. I could have been talked off for Icky, so why don't you slate in Evan Neal at number 3?
2 out of 3, give it to Neal. Fine with that.
So this is where it gets interesting here for me. Borey's a Jets fan. Kyle, tell me what you think.
So, I mean, I think it's a clear and obvious pick here. I think it's Kayvon Thibodeau. I think don't overthink it, guys. Like people are saying Kyle Hamilton because he needed safety. Let's be real. Safety, BJ and I go back and forth about this all the time. And my boy Jared from home. To me, safety in the NFL, majority of the time is a plug and play position, kind of like running back. It depends on scheme. You don't really need a stud there. As to our edge rusher, you see all these successful teams making it far in the playoffs. They have dominant edge rushers. I think you pair Kayvon Thibodeau opposite Carl Lawson, who's coming back. You look at Robert Saleh's defense when he was at San Fran. It's very dependent on a strong pass rush, more so than it is coverage in the background. They run like a cover 3 variation type shell defense. So that a lot of zone. So they don't really. I rule out corner here. Wouldn't be surprised they go tackle with the uncertainty of Becton if they go Ekwonu, but again, I'm not going to overthink it. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is the clear-cut choice here.
So, BJ, when you said cut out corner, you smirked. Did you also have Sauce Gardner number 4?
Oh, I have Sauce Gardner number 4.
I have Sauce Gardner number 4 as well.
Yep.
Listen, the Jets D-line is like not bad. It'll be great with Thibodeau, and I know what you mean. You need that premier edge guy because that's what a lot of the successful teams have nowadays. But I just think that Sauce Gardner is a better prospect right now.
You put an elite cover guy, it only helps the pass rush. Just it goes hand in hand. You have an elite pass rush, it makes the back end better. You have an elite back end, it makes the pass rush better. It's just how it works. And I think the Jets, the defensive line is probably one of their better position groups. Whereas secondary, you have Bryce Hall, who had a decent year last year. It's just a really, really young secondary. Now you add a top 5 pick and an elite level athlete back there to play corner. I just think it makes that defense much better.
I agree. I think the D-line is going to be good for another year without making a high draft pick to add to that.
Agreed.
I think secondary is going to need a little more.
I agree. That's not a bad take. You guys can put Sauce up there. I was thinking corner for the longest time until I thought about it. But, I mean, I still go Kayvon. But, I mean, like you said, their defensive line is very deep right now. Their corner room is young. Their secondary is young. They just signed DJ Reed, but, they don't have a true number 1 corner. So I just think the defensive end and the edge rusher position in this draft is more top heavy. Yes, you can get Jermaine Johnson here, but it's more heavy than corner. You can get Booth in the second round or something like that, or Roger McCreary in the second round. So that was part of my thought process.
Yeah.
So here for the Giants, they're
easy
at number
pick.
5.
I
think it's very easy, especially having the number 7 with Carolina in between them. I think they take their tackle here.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
I think they go Icky. I think this
it
one's
was going to be Neal or Icky. So
I agree.
All right, that one was easy.
I need to talk about it.
So the Panthers. This one's tough.
I think there's two decisions here.
Since we're not trading, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they would be stupid to stay at number 6, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
They don't have another pick till 137. So it's 6 to 137. They need more picks. This roster is bad. They have holes everywhere.
Mhm.
But since we're not trading in this draft, I think they go. My personal pick would be Malik Willis. However, I know that they are linked to Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, if Malik Willis is still on the board at this point, you're not picking Pickett over him. I know they like the dude, but I don't see that happening.
Well, Matt Rule recruited Kenny Pickett to go to Temple.
Yeah.
And I guess they really like each other. I don't know, but that's what I've been hearing. But I would go Willis.
I agree that they're definitely trading back in this spot, but I think that tackle is a big need for him. And Charles Cross is the last of the high tier tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't blame them for taking quarterback, but Charles Cross is really damn good. And that would be my pick here.
All right, I got a lot of thoughts here. I've been waiting for this pick so bad. So I'm going to go with Charles Cross, get that out of the way. So you can pick Charles Cross. I think they need offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Second, obviously I agree they're going to trade back. They would be dumb not to. However, since we're not trading, I don't see them going quarterback here. I mean, they have, Darnold's obviously not great. They have him for one more year. And he's cheap, so at least you can spend money elsewhere. But, guys, to me, like, this quarterback class is as bad as it is. I don't have Malik Willis in my top 5 quarterbacks. I don't. I think he's absolutely terrible. I'm telling you right now. I would be very surprised if he makes more than 6-7 starts in the next 4 or 5 years. I think he's absolutely terrible at football.
That's bold. That's very bold.
Malik Willis is my number 1 quarterback.
I know he's a lot of people's number 1. And I don't blame you because everyone's fallen victim to these, one, he played at Liberty, which is not Power 5. You look when he played Power 5, he was a backup at Auburn, and Auburn had no quarterback that year. I think it was the same spring they had like freshman Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is god awful too. I'm an Auburn fan. Second of all, when they played Power 5 teams while he was at Liberty, like obviously their talent at the Power 5 school is going to be better than Liberty, but he shit the bed. Like his stats were atrocious. Like he didn't even look capable. If you watched a couple games, he doesn't even look capable. And granted, he's playing obviously guys that are better than his team, but I just don't see one part about Malik Willis's game other than maybe that he can run that translates to the NFL. I really don't.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the reason he's projected so high is just because the tools he has. Like obviously he's not. I agree that he's not a top 5 right now, but that's not why he's projected to be picked in the first round.
Right. He's getting picked off of, I guess, potential.
It's all gonna depend on the fit and the coaching he gets in the NFL.
Agreed.
He's not gonna be a dude you throw in right away and expect him to do anything.
Right.
So
I feel like if the Panthers pick a quarterback at 6, I mean, obviously we're not trading back, but if they pick a quarterback at 6, you're not going to sit him behind Sam Darnold.
Yeah. No, he's playing right away. If they were to pick a quarterback at 6.
Right.
All right. So let's jump to the Giants' number 7 pick here. Their second pick in the top 10. This one's pretty easy for me.
I think this is where Thibodeau goes.
Yeah, I think the Thibodeau slide ends here.
Yeah.
And he's going to play in New York.
I think since we have Thibodeau down this far, I think they would take Thibodeau. In my own personal mock drafts, I have obviously Kayvon to the Jets, and I have them going Hamilton here because they lost Jabril Peppers. But since we have Kayvon on the board, I agree.
Good.
Now this one is the Falcons
need a lot.
Interesting.
It's another team that needs everything.
I'm going to go out on a real limb here. They are going to have the number 1 pick next year.
Okay.
They're really bad.
Top 3.
Especially with no Ridley this season. So for me, I think Garrett Wilson makes a lot of sense. I think Drake London makes a lot of sense. I think the receiver position here makes a lot of sense. But if they were to attack the defensive side of the ball, I think Jermaine Johnson's also a good fit in Atlanta. But personally, I think Garrett Wilson goes to Atlanta.
They need a lot of things, but more than ever, they need receiver and a chance to take the best one in the draft. They're going to go Garrett Wilson here.
I mean, Tuds, and we touched on it. Auden Tate's their number 1 receiver right now.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
No.
So
I think Garrett Wilson's the right choice.
Got to be Wilson here.
I agree. I think Garrett Wilson too. I think they got to go receiver. I think when Ridley comes back, I think his contract's up.
Yeah, he won't be there when he comes back.
Yeah, and like you said, BJ, I think they're going to be a top 3 pick at least next year. So they're going to pick quarterback next year.
Yeah,
he'll have a veteran, not veteran, but he'll have a second-year receiver to help him. So I like that pick.
The Seahawks are kind of interesting. I don't think they go quarterback. I think they try the Drew Lock experience and then end up as a top 5 pick next year. But I could see them going Jermaine Johnson. I could see them going Kyle Hamilton. I could see them going Derek Stingley. I could also see them trying to, maybe reaching for a tackle here. I'm looking maybe Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa. But for me, I think Jermaine Johnson makes the most sense. He's where this edge rusher drop off happens.
Yeah, I mocked Malik Willis for here just because they're going to be so desperate for that next franchise quarterback. And not that Drew Lock's any good, but they'll be able to start him for. They're not going to expect to win anyway next year, so they can start him for a year and have Malik Willis behind him. But I don't hate Jermaine Johnson. Get the last of the elite edge rushers off the board here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes the most sense to me if they don't trade back, which I think they could.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you, Tuds. I think they go Malik Willis. Not that I like the pick because I think Malik Willis is a 3rd-round quarterback at most, but I think the whole thing of, like you said, they know they're not going to win now.
That's why it makes so much sense.
Yeah, have him kind of compete with Drew Lock, get some experience. He's still going to have 2 very good receivers because I don't think DK is going anywhere. BJ, I know you mentioned Kyle Hamilton. I don't think that makes sense because they still have not Trayvon Diggs, and they still have
Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
So I don't know if safety makes sense, especially Kyle Hamilton, but I go Malik here.
I mean, I guess I'm just used to watching the Patriots, and they have like 5 safeties on the field at all times.
I could see Jermaine Johnson here though, too, Beach. But I went Malik.
If they don't go quarterback, Jermaine Johnson would be my pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Just me.
I think Seattle's not expecting Willis to even be here at this point, so I think if they see him here, it's a no-brainer for them.
Willis.
Agreed.
So the Jets back up at 10.
Again. Oh God.
Here we go.
I've been seeing a lot of receiver being mocked for their second pick.
I think this is Drake London for their second.
I think it's Drake London, even though I'm not as high on Drake London as a lot of people are.
I'm not either. But
he's a different type of receiver than Elijah Moore, like complete opposite different type of receiver, which I think makes a lot of sense for their offense.
And, Corey Davis is the bigger receiver, more possession guy, but he can do a lot of different things. He's kind of versatile. You can plug him in anywhere, and he's serviceable at what he's doing. But Drake London is that elite size receiver who can, stretch the field and make those 50-50 catches. So I like Drake London here.
Here's my reasoning for maybe Jermaine Johnson is you might have wanted one of the top guys with your number 4 pick, and you go corner, and now one's still here for you to take. But I know that they're huge on getting another big receiver in there. Dude, Drake London I don't know, man. I think it's a little too early for him, but I still think it'll happen.
So here's what I think, guys. Being a Jets fan, I have all the Jets beat writers pushing tweet notifications to my phone. So, I get a bunch of different opinions every day. I don't see the Jets trading for a receiver before the draft. However, if they do, like they've tried to, obviously take receiver off, I don't see them trading. However, I could see them trading down here, acquire more picks because there's a plethora of guys that help the team here. However, we're not trading. So I could see Kyle Hamilton here. This kind of stumps me, guys, because like you said, so what do we take with them? We took corner first.
Took Sauce Gardner, yeah.
So that's where this stumps me because we already took corner, so they're not going corner. So I love Derek Stingley as a prospect if he's fully healthy. I think if he's healthy, he's the best player in the draft, period. But we're not taking corner. You made a great point, Tuds, with the edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson. I can see that as well. Don't see Kyle Hamilton. I do see them going receiver. I also have Drake London in this spot. As a Jets fan, I'm hoping Garrett Wilson falls. I'm hoping they can trade back and maybe get Drake London.
I would trade back and go with one of the other insane receivers that are going to be in the tail end of the first round.
That's where I was going with that. I have Drake London as my receiver 3. I have Treylon Burks ahead of him. So I would prefer they trade down and maybe get Treylon Burks. But, I mean, I think if they're not trading out of this spot, I think they need to get their receiver. Drake London, BJ making a lot of good points about how he fits into the offense. He's a 50-50 guy. He
does fit in well.
Yeah. They don't have a red zone threat, and that's their guy. So
all right.
So we'll
go with Drake London.
Drake London, number 10 to the Jets. Now, another kind of receiver needy team, maybe for a number 3 receiver. We didn't have a full season of Curtis Samuel. We didn't barely had him at all last year.
Yeah, how many? I don't even know. Wait, like 2 weeks?
Yeah, he had a lingering hamstring all season, but I don't really know. Jameson Williams makes a lot of sense, but I could also see them going Stingley or Hamilton here.
Yep, those 3 are the guys for me. And I mocked. Who did I mock? I think I mocked Stingley.
I like Stingley here too. So my thing is,
those guys like make sense for this team.
Yeah, I like Stingley a lot as well, and as it'd be really nice to get another receiver opposite Terry McLaurin. I think just building the defense would be huge for the Commanders this year.
Yeah, I'm on Hamilton here, actually.
Is Samuel coming back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Samuel coming back. I mean, this is a team before the Wentz trade. I had them picking Pickett. I think now I could easily, if they think Stingley's healthy, I could easily see them going Stingley.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's fully healthy. Like I said, he's the best player in the draft. However, I don't know if they think he's fully healthy or not, so I'm gonna go Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I like Hamilton here.
I like Hamilton as well.
And also, like, Williams is good. I think he's a little overrated.
Jameson Williams?
Yeah.
And he's coming.
I watched him for a whole year in an offense with Olave and Wilson, and like he was by far the 3rd best receiver on that team when they were all together.
Sure.
Might be a little biased, but from what I've seen for a whole year.
Sounds a little salty Ohio State fan right there.
I know.
I mean, you don't lose to Alabama in the national championship and then join them the next year.
If you can't beat them, join them, Andrew.
Guess so. The pussy mentality.
They never watched the NBA, Tuds.
So with Hamilton going to the Commanders, I think this makes this Vikings pick a lot easier. I think this Derek Stingley goes here.
Yep, absolutely.
10 times. I mean, they need a corner.
Yep.
I believe
they got Patrick Peterson back, but who better to learn from for Stingley, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And Pat Pete, he's getting old. He lost a step. So, just to learn from Pat Pete would be huge. And I think that is valuable. So are we all in agreement of Derek Stingley?
I love Stingley to the Vikings here.
Okay.
As do I.
So this is where I kind of get thrown off, but I never usually have Jermaine Johnson on the board when I mock here. And I think this is a pretty easy pick with him on
That's true. Yeah.
To the Texans.
I mean, looking at what you got right now, it's kind of a no-doubter that you're going Jermaine Johnson.
He's the best player available. They need everything. And I think that's just, don't overthink it. If you're the Texans, take the best player available. I think that's what they do here.
Who did they hire as their head coach again?
Lovie Smith.
Oh God, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Jeez. Jermaine Johnson, I think. I was gonna say maybe Jameson Williams. But I mean they brought Brandon Cooks back.
Yeah.
They need defensive help. So I
agree. Yeah, they got to build the base first before they get fancy with any of those picks.
I think Jermaine Johnson's the pick here.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we get to the Ravens, who I have a lot of different opinions here on the Ravens. I think they could go.
Me too.
I think they could go Devontae Wyatt. I think Trevor Penning is the best prospect in terms of what they want to do. Every time I hear Penning's name, the word Mauler is attached to it, and he is. And I think that fits in with Baltimore and what they like to do.
Did you see Penning's not the combine, but did you see his pro day practice highlights?
I did.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's tossing people around.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yes, and that's kind of why I like Penning here to the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see any of the other top guys being taken right now. So I do think it is a little early for Penning.
I do too, but
I think he's going to be more of a 19 to end of the first round guy.
But if you look, he's the last tackle before you're getting into the guards.
I love Trent McDuffie. I wouldn't hate a Trent McDuffie pick to the Ravens here, honestly. I mean, that secondary just got so depleted last year.
One from Washington Beach.
Oh, yes, Trent McDuffie. Sorry. I thought you were talking O-line. I was like,
I'm a little shocked that he's under Booth Jr., but
I also agree with that.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, I don't think Booth Jr. is that good. I don't hate if it's Penning or a corner like McDuffie. That's fine with me. I think I mocked earlier. I had McDuffie to the Ravens. I think that makes a lot of sense too.
I like that. And I selfishly really want Penning to go to the Saints to replace Armstead. So kind of a little bit of my reasoning too.
So
But I think McDuffie is very reasonable for the Ravens here.
Yeah, I would go McDuffie too because I agree they need tackles, but I mean we saw what happened when they had 1-2 corner injuries last year, dude. That's the game Joe Burrow threw for 500 yards.
It was bad.
Put me out there to play.
It was really bad. Yeah,
it was horrible.
Yeah. So the Eagles, they could have used McDuffie.
Can I go first here?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Treylon Burks.
I agree.
I don't hate it at all. I don't hate it at all.
Especially if you're the Eagles, you got to be looking at the two teams in between your two picks here. Both could go receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, yeah, this pick has to be receiver before the Saints. Yeah.
It has to be a receiver.
Listen, I love Treylon Burks. He's my second favorite receiver in this class.
Yeah.
I just think Williams is going to get drafted over him, even though I hate it.
I agree.
I think the Eagles are absolutely taking Jameson Williams here. But I'm so with you that I love Burks, man. But
I like Burks more too, but I think, they have that Alabama connection.
I think Williams is still getting taken here.
Yeah, that's a good point, Beach. I didn't think about that. I would, put Jameson on there. That's a really good point.
Devonta Smith and Jameson Williams all in the same offense. I think that, we saw this with Burrow and Chase, obviously a little bit different caliber, but that college connection means something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, that didn't even click for me.
Yeah.
Hurts never played with Jameson.
He didn't play with Williams, but I'm talking. Did he play with either of them?
No.
Oh
no!
He missed Devontae by a year and Hurts by like 2, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, it's Bama connection.
Either way, it's coached up by Nick Saban. So
yeah, exactly. Gotta go Williams.
Jameson. We already talked about it.
So
but now,
so the Saints have 16 and 19.
Do they go receiver here, or do they go?
I don't think they do because Penning's really the last of the elite tackles here.
I agree.
And there's a shit ton of receivers that are going to be there at 19 for you to take. So I think Penning's the pick here for sure. Got to replace Teron Armstead. And you're not going to risk him being there. The Chargers could pick Penning.
Yeah,
unlikely.
The Chargers need a tackle too.
Yeah, so I think you got to get the tackle out of the way there.
Now, I think the Chargers need to go.
I think this is a lock for Jordan Davis.
I was going to say Wyatt or Davis.
I for the past 2 months, I've wanted Jordan Davis on the Chargers so bad.
Yeah.
Their D tackles were the worst in the league last year. They added Sebastian Joseph Day for one of their D tackles. But to get Jordan Davis in there, that D line is going to be so improved from last year. Absolutely. And that was really their weakest point of the team.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you could argue Wyatt, but dude, Davis is just such a different animal. Put him in there and he's going to just be a beast right away, I think.
Yeah.
I agree. I go Jordan Davis here, and
it's a match made in heaven. Honestly,
I'm a little hot take here because I don't know if I'm ever be on the show again, but I'm picking the Chargers right now to win the Super Bowl this year. BJ hates that pick, but they are my Super Bowl contender.
If the Bills weren't a team, I might agree.
They're a contender. So the Eagles here, we had them taking Jameson Williams. Do they go corner? Do they go edge? What do they look to do? They go off offensive lineman. Like Zion Johnson is a prospect I really love.
Yep.
Linderbaum, I really love.
Love me some Linderbaum.
They got Kelsey back though for one more year, right?
They do.
Yep.
They do. They could also go linebacker. I think Devin Lloyd makes a lot of sense to them, but
I wouldn't hate Daxton Hill here either.
Daxton Hill.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that here at all.
Daxton Hill.
I think George Karlaftis here.
George Karlaftis makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't have a big name edge guy right now that I can think of. I mean, they have Fletcher Cox.
No, they don't. Yeah.
They have Fletcher Cox on the inside. They don't have a guy off the edge. They already went offense with their first pick. I think they're going to go defense with their second pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Karlaftis.
Yeah, I don't hate Karlaftis here.
Right. Let's go Karlaftis. All right, so now we're at to 19 with the Saints. I think this is where they go receiver. I think Treylon Burks goes here. I think with their infatuation with Ohio State players for whatever reason, I think Chris Olave goes. That's true. Yeah.
It's ridiculous how I don't know why, but it's a thing. And Olave makes sense in this offense.
Every team has their school. The Raiders were Clemson for a little bit. The Patriots are Rutgers in Michigan for some reason. But I like Olave here.
Yeah, I like Olave too. I mean, if I was the Saints, I would go Burks because you can use him in a plethora of different ways, kind of like Samuel. But I think they go Olave too.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think Burks is going to be better, but I think that's just what's going to happen is Olave is going to get taken.
Yep.
Now here, Steelers.
I have a hot take here, so I'll let you guys give your picks first.
I mean, I feel like keep the guy in Pittsburgh, man.
Kenny Pickett.
Right? It's got to be.
I like Kenny Pickett as
well.
They
traded away Joshua Dobbs, who's been their backup for quite a while. Obviously, with the passing of Dwayne Haskins, they're down to Rudolph and
Mitch
Trubisky.
Yeah,
I think Pickett goes here, man. They really they need interior O-line and quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think they go Pickett too. I think it's the most logical here.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit him behind Mitch for a year. My hot take I was going to say is they just lost Juju. I wouldn't be surprised they take Burks here.
I was thinking receiver.
They love drafting receivers, and they're very.
They do, and they're.
It wouldn't be Burks
really
though. They need a slot. They need a slot though. I don't think Burks would be the guy.
Oh my God, Burks is one of those guys. That's why I love him. You can put him.
You can do a lot of things with him, but
you can put him anywhere you want.
I think if you take a receiver here over O-line and quarterback, like, what are you doing, man?
No, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they take Burks. I actually would love it, but I think they go Pickett too.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I've done a lot of thinking on the Patriots here.
Oh boy.
I think the pick's obvious, but I don't like it.
Take a quarterback.
They're not taking a corner. They're not taking a linebacker.
Why are they taking a corner?
Receiver. I think they go offensive lineman. They just lost Shaq Mason via trade. Mac Jones was getting absolutely drilled all season last year. Listen, I don't love it either, but this is what Bill Belichick does. Every draft, I scratch my head. I'm like, what are we doing? But unless it's N'Keal Harry, it's like, okay, well, that guy's actually pretty good. I think they go Zion Johnson. That's just me.
I don't hate that because we do need a guard. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a Wenwu left guard now, and we need a right guard, right?
Yeah, Shaq Mason was the right guard.
But why don't you think we go corner here?
I don't know. I just don't think we do because it's the logical thing to do, and we never do the logical thing in the draft.
That's fair, but I think if they're staring Andrew Booth in the face right here, I think it's going to be very tough for them to pass on him.
Andrew Booth, to me, does not stand out as a Bill Belichick guy in the way that
I agree.
Like, I agree they probably could use a corner losing Jackson, but he just does not stand out to me as a Bill Belichick player, you know? I wouldn't be surprised here. Scroll up a little bit, BJ.
BJ, I do like Zion Johnson there, though. I honestly do. I didn't really think about having no lineman there, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think Zion Johnson's a good safe pick with Belichick there. Do they have a center currently?
David Andrews.
David Andrews, yep.
Oh, that's right. So they don't need a center.
They've got everything locked up for next year except right guard.
Scroll down a little bit, Beach. There were two guys I was going to say that I could see them potentially taking. Devin Lloyd, I could see. That's one of them.
I could see that as well.
I would love that, honestly.
I could also see Dotson.
I'm good on Dotson.
But they got Devontae Parker, so I don't think they'll go Dotson.
I don't think we're going receiver first, at least not first round.
The only way I see the Patriots going receiver in the first round is if Jamison Williams falls to them or somehow
someone really good has to fall.
Yeah. I don't think they'll reach for a Jahan Dotson.
I agree.
Or Burks. I just don't think they will.
I don't know if this is a reach for Burks, honestly. I don't think Burks makes it past 20, personally.
Really? Interesting.
But every year I fall in love with a couple prospects, and Burks is one of them. So
yeah.
I think he shouldn't, but I think he will.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, it's Zion Johnson.
I'm good with Zion Johnson here, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Now this pick is really easy for me.
Burks here.
Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
Treylon.
Yeah, I agree. Receiver. I was gonna say George Pickens. I know it's kind of a reach.
I don't think Pickens is a reach here at all.
Pickens is kind of like not. I don't want to say Devontae Adams type, but he's a bigger body. You know, he can go up and catch the ball, runs great routes, has good speed. Burks is a little smaller, but I mean they just signed Sammy Watkins for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But
keep in mind the Packers have another pick here, and they may double dip in receiver.
They might. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna sign another veteran.
I didn't think about that until now, Beach. Like, what other position do they possibly need?
I mean, I don't really like maybe offensive tackle, but like that's more of a depth piece. Offensively, they're fine. Just at receiver, they need help.
Yeah, I don't think they're touching defense in the first round.
No, that's why I think they double dip. But I like Burks here.
I do too. Go Burks.
And I think Burks is going here. I think Pickens can go here too, though.
To the Cardinals?
Oh, I was just saying, I think he can go for the Packers there too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Here, I think this is Andrew Booth.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree.
I think this one, I mean, the Cardinals are weird. I feel like they need a lot, and they're like, you know, they're trying to catch the Rams here. So I think adding another corner to that team is crucial.
Yeah, especially with that receiver group the Rams have.
Exactly. So we all like Booth here.
Yep.
Cowboys. Good old Cowboys.
Now, they need a tackle because they lost Lyle Collins, but I don't think there's a tackle up here.
No. Yeah, there's not a tackle worth taking here.
No.
I think Daxton Hill, this is the spot for him.
I agree.
I love Daxton Hill. I've mentioned him a couple times. I think this is right around where he's going to get taken.
Yeah, I like Daxton Hill. And if they don't,
next two teams coming up aren't going to take safety either. So
if they don't, I really like Bowie Mafe, however you say it. I think
it's Boye Mafe.
Boye Mafe. I don't know how to say it.
Golden Gopher. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm between Hill and Mafe.
Yeah,
so I'm good with the Hill pick.
Go Daxton Hill because that's who I would. Out of those two, I'll go Daxton Hill. But
yeah,
I honestly had him going offensive line here because in my thought process, obviously they don't think the same way I do. But if I'm the Cowboys, your division's still absolute garbage. You're going to put up. I mean, you're going to put up points. Why not give your quarterback a little protection? Your $40 million quarterback, but that was just my thought process. But I don't mind that.
Yeah,
sure. Where we're back at Buffalo here.
Buffalo. I didn't even know what to do with Buffalo.
The way this is wrapping up is like in my mocks, I have Sam Howell gone by now, the quarterback.
Oh yeah, see, no, I don't.
There's no quarterback taking him in the next 5 picks. So
I don't think he's going in the first round.
I don't either.
Sam Howell's my QB1 in this class, man.
Interesting. Buffalo, I think they could go Breece Hall. I don't love it.
Yeah, they could.
But I could.
It's a reach, but it's a good pick.
Devontae Wyatt is really good, and the Buffalo run defense wasn't so great last year. You put him in the middle. I think it's not like a huge need, but I think it helps that defense. And the Bills don't have many needs.
They don't. Yeah.
Trey White's coming back. I believe they got Levi Wallace.
No, he's in the Steelers now.
Okay, so he's with Pittsburgh now. So corner, they could go corner as well. I like Kyer Elam. I like there's another corner down.
Jalen Petrie.
Who?
Jalen. Oh, he's a safety. I thought he was a corner.
I like McCreary from Auburn. I think I haven't seen him, but so I would be between Breece Hall, Elam, and McCreary. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think Elam could go here. I know a lot of teams aren't high on him because of his injury history.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's healthy, he's really good.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me right here.
Yeah.
I also don't see a running back going in the first round. So,
I don't either unless it's to Buffalo.
Or Tampa Bay, but yeah.
That was my point too, Tuds. I don't see a running back going in the first round to anybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, I personally think McCreary is a lot better than Elam?
Elam.
I think McCreary is going to be a steal of the draft, but I'm also an Auburn fan, so go Kyer just to be safe.
The Titans.
McCreary's good, Tuds. Don't laugh at me.
I don't know a lot about him. I was just
I like
Titans.
solid.
I think Titans go receiver here or linebacker.
I think they go Devin Lloyd.
I think Devin Lloyd makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, good with me.
That one was easy. This one, I think this one's also easy for me. I think they go Kenyon Green.
Yeah,
They gotta fill that Marpet spot in left guard.
Yeah.
And Kenyon Green's really versatile. They can move him everywhere.
Yep.
So I like Green a lot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. This is where I think George Pickens goes. I think the Packers double dip.
Yeah, I mean, scroll down a little. I think they could go Linderbaum and move Josh Myers over to guard. I could see that happening.
Listen,
but I don't know, man. There's a lot of good receivers.
After they've effed this whole thing up with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae, I think pretty much it's Aaron, who do you want? They're going to give him 2 receivers. I think that's what they're going to do.
That's what I was going to say, Beej. I can see the headline now. You know, after failing to get Aaron Rodgers a weapon for 13 years in the draft, they finally give him 2 in the first round.
But they don't do that though. They just don't do that.
I know. I can see the Sports Center headline right now. Though.
They just got rid of the best receiver in the league.
I'm not touching him in fantasy, by the way.
That's a topic for another pod.
That's fair.
But I like George Pickens or Jahan Dotson. That's me.
I think they go to Devontae Wyatt.
They gave him Burks at 22, right?
Yes, we gave them Treylon Burks. Yes.
So
I think they go Wyatt.
Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah.
I don't hate that too, but I don't think they like defense. They don't have many needs. They only really lost to Darius Smith.
Yeah, that's really the only big one. I think since we already gave them Burks, I think Dotson might work better with Burks and Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
Just my thought.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Just because I don't know. You could do a lot with Burks, but I think they're going to want to keep him on the outside. And with Watkins and Burks on the outside, I think Dotson can work better in the middle than trying to have Pickens there and just having a bunch of X receivers, if that makes sense.
See, Tuds, I get what you're saying. The way I look at it is you and I look at Treylon Burks in opposite ways, I guess. That's where we're –
It's because he's that kind of receiver, though, where, like, he can do everything.
Right. You're looking at him as, like, an outside X receiver. The way I look at Treylon Burks, and the reason why he's my receiver too, is because, like, I compare him to – I mean, I saw it somewhere, so I don't want to take credit for it, but a Deebo Samuel comparison is a great comparison. He's a strong receiver. He can get off a press outside.
Definitely, yeah.
In the slot, he's got a good first step, right? He can blow by you. He's fast. You can also use him in the backfield. You know, Arkansas a couple times used him behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
They used him at every position on offense besides offensive line.
And he's got breakaway speed, so that's how I view him. But, like, I could definitely, to your point, I could definitely see a team being like, no, you're an outside guy, because that's probably where he excels the most.
And the thing with the Packers is Lazard's kind of that middle guy already.
Oh, and Randall Cobb, who
So
Aaron
I think
Rodgers needs on that team.
So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot you can do here.
It's up to you, Todd. It's your pick right now.
I don't hate Dotson.
What did you both? What's both your vote?
I'm fine with Dotson or George Pickens.
I said Wyatt, but if you're both going to go receiver, then go Dotson. If you want Dotson, Tuds.
All right, let's go Pickens here. Let's just go Pickens.
If we were going to go receiver, I was leaning Pickens myself.
Because I kind of want Dotson to be our next pick to the Chiefs.
There's McCreary. That's my boy.
Yeah, and this is, I agree, where Jahan Dotson goes.
Dotson, yeah, it feels right just to have Dotson.
It makes no sense to pick anybody else.
Yeah.
Although I could see maybe a Christian Watson there, but that would be a reach.
Yeah. Watson could go first for sure.
Now, this kind of really backfired on the Chiefs here, trading Tyreek Hill, because they don't get an elite receiver. They're not going to get an elite corner. So now they had just 2 back end of the first round picks, and they're not getting really any, bona fide starters. You know what I mean? That's where I think they could go Wyatt. I think they could maybe think about double dipping at receiver again, depending on who's there.
I think Boye Mafe can go here.
Yep, Boye Mafe. I think Lewis Seen wouldn't be a bad pick either.
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to like this, but I'm going to say, no bias in this, I'm going to say Roger McCreary, because if you look at it, they replaced Tyrann Mathieu with Justin Reed, which I think is an upgrade in my opinion. But other than corner, they lost Charvarius Ward to the Niners. And especially in this division, you got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
I agree.
All the Broncos. Now you got Devontae Adams in your division.
That's
you need
fair.
somebody who can man up, right? You can't just sit in zone.
I do think their secondary is gonna be needed more than their front seven. So I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, and McCreary is a good man corner, and that's what you need in this division.
Yep.
That's my pick. But tell me what you guys think.
I like McCreary a lot.
Good with it.
This is where Linderbaum goes for me.
Then you bump Karras out to right guard probably.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Makes a lot of sense for me. For the Bengals.
Yeah.
Because Ted Karras, he's not a long-term option at center.
Right. Yeah.
Played guard all last season. Played guard most of his career. He can easily kick either side.
Yep.
Too. And then you just slide Linderbaum in there, who is the best center.
I think the Bengals are ecstatic that Linderbaum's still here at 31.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Linderbaum too. You can pick Linderbaum. I agree. Only thing that's making me a little hesitant though is they did sign 3 offensive linemen in free agency. So,
but they need 5 though. They needed 5.
Yeah, I know. But to spend another asset, I guess, on a lineman, I mean, it makes the most sense. It's the most position I need. But I wouldn't be surprised to go corner either. But I like Linderbaum there.
Yeah.
So
32. I'm guessing this is where you have Desmond Ridder.
This is where I have Desmond Ridder.
So Desmond Ridder is actually my number 1 quarterback in the class.
I don't hate it.
I absolutely love Desmond Ridder, more than I should, way more than I should.
So this is the way I think about it.
I mocked Sky Moore here. I think they could definitely go receiver at 32.
And I don't hate that. But this is how I think about it. Normally, when you trade to get your quarterback of the future, right? You're trading multiple first-round picks and stuff like that. Let's say they draft Desmond Ridder this year, and he plays a few games next year. He's not the guy. They have a top 5 pick next year, and they can go get Stroud or Bryce Young or say they're 1 or 2 or whatever. They can trade Desmond. Somebody's going to value Desmond Ridder as a 2nd round or 3rd round pick because he's only played a year.
Yeah, but what if he plays and he shits the bed and then they're like, okay, we don't want him.
But that's it's a risk I'm willing to take if I'm the Lions at pick 32, not at pick 2, but pick 32. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Because I think you can get some value back for him if he plays and you're like, he's not it for us. I think somebody would take a chance on him.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's quarterback or receiver here.
Yeah. Who was the receiver you picked here, Tuds?
I had Sky Moore. I could also see Christian Watson going here.
Yeah.
BJ, you want to go to receiver and see who we got at the top?
Yeah. I mean,
I think
it's Moore or Watson. I
think it's Moore or Watson. I don't think any other receivers are going in the 1st round.
Yeah. I personally think it's Watson. I don't have them taking a quarterback in this class. I also look at it differently. I'm a very big, as far as managerial wise in football, I'm very big on, Jared Goff's going into his 5th year. You still have him on his rookie contract.
You don't.
Jared Goff? Yeah. Is it not his 5th year?
He got extended.
Well, he got extended.
Yeah. Right.
He's making a bag.
He's making too much. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. That's why I kind of like going quarterback here.
I forgot he got extended.
But even if you go quarterback, you're still going to have to eat the contract.
What a horrible deal.
You're not going to trade Goff off anywhere. So
no one's going to take him. Yeah. I don't think they go quarterback. I think they're stuck with.
I think since you're eating the contract either way, you utilize Goff as long as you can.
This is also another reason why I think this is another reason why I think they take Ridder, because if you wait and take a quarterback in round 2, because they have pick 34, I believe, or something like that. If you wait to the 2nd round, you don't get the 5th-year option on the quarterback. You only get the 5th-year option in the 1st round.
Okay.
That's the only reason I think they go Ridder, because then you can you get all the way to that 5th year if you want it. Normally, if you get to the 5th year as a quarterback, you're Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and nobody wants you. But it's still safer to do that. That's just why I consider.
You know, that's a good point, that they're at 32 right now and their next pick's at 34.
Yeah.
And Jacksonville's not going to draft a receiver with their next pick. No. So you can assume that both Watson and Sky Moore are both going to be there.
Right.
That's also a very good point, Tuds.
So I see Ritter going here. I was thinking about Ritter going there too, so don't hate it.
So this is what we got here. We got, just run through it. Jacksonville, Aiden Hutchinson. Detroit, Trayvon Walker. Texans, Evan Neal. Jets, Ahmad Gardner. New York Giants, Ike Ekwonu. That name gives me fits, man.
Gives you trouble.
The Panthers with Charles Cross. New York Giants. I think they get a steal with Thibodeau. I do.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons, dire need a receiver, Garrett Wilson. They get the best one, in my opinion. Malik Willis to Seattle. The Jets with Drake London. Commanders. I don't like how this says Washington.
Oh, that's weird.
With Kyle Hamilton, I think that could be a steal too. I think he's going to be an impact player.
Yeah.
Vikings, Stingley. Texans with Jermaine Johnson. Trent McDuffie to the Ravens. Jamison Williams, Eagles. Trevor Penning, Saints. Jordan Davis, Chargers. George Karlaftis to the Eagles. Olave to the Saints. Kenny Pickett to the Steelers. Zion Johnson to the Patriots. Treylon Burks to the Packers. Andrew Booth, Cardinals. Daxton Hill, Cowboys. Kyrie Elam to the Bills. Devin Lloyd to the Titans. Kenyon Green to the Bucks. George Pickens, Packers. Jahan Dotson and McCreary go to the Chiefs. Linderbaum to the Bengals, and Ritter to the Lions. What stands out to you guys?
Just first off, scrolling through, I just love it, honestly.
Yeah.
I really like the picks we made.
Yeah.
I don't really disagree with anything.
Anything stand out to you guys?
No, I agree with what Tuds said. I mean, I think the picks that we made all are very, very logical. And I can see them. I can see every single pick happening the way it did. I think me comparatively to you two, I think you guys are on the same page more often than not. I think a couple of times, especially at the top of the board, I kind of had it going a different way, but you guys made some good points and kind of talked me into your logic. And I think it made, I think you guys made a lot of sense and definitely changed the way I look at this draft, especially from the Jets perspective, but I think it was good. I think this is probably one of the strongest mock drafts I've done.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people look at the quarterbacks and might not think this draft is as strong as the other years, but there's just so many really good players in this draft, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many.
Yeah, everyone says this draft is weak, and I mean, I don't think it's weak. If they get picked to the right spots,
they're only looking at quarterbacks.
Right. You got a lot of guys here that could be. Now, I don't know about all pros, but a lot of guys that'll be very good.
But they're going to impact right away.
Right.
I think defensively, this draft is very, very good. I think there's a lot of good defensive players, where offensively it's like the quarterbacks aren't super high. The offensive linemen, I think, are really high tier. And I think the top 4 or 5 receivers are pretty high tier. But after that, offensively, it kind of drops off, whereas the defense just keeps going. I think McCreary is a high-level player. I think Devin Lloyd's a high-level player. And we have them 26th and 30th. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
So I just think it's more defensive loaded, but you have to, especially down here in the 20s, you draft based on need.
Yeah. Defense and receivers is absolutely loaded.
Yeah. I think, right here, I think the Bengals are absolutely ecstatic.
I think Linderbaum probably goes earlier.
I do too. I think that's his absolute ceiling.
I just didn't know where he would go. I mean, I did vouch for the Packers a little bit. I don't really think that's going to happen, but I think it could.
That's the thing, Tuds. Like you said, one pick that we make and one pick that happens in the real draft, it changes the whole path of the draft for everybody.
Yep.
Say God forbid the Texans or Lions take quarterback at 2, then it becomes a race to get your quarterback. Everyone's trading up to get a quarterback, and all these studs fall back. So one pick changes everything.
I think you go up to Seattle. I think them taking Malik Willis at 9. I think that'll start the quarterback run. People will start trading up.
Right.
But, it just makes no sense for the Texans to take a quarterback. It makes no sense. I think the Eagles could think about it, because I don't know if they're sold on Hurts. Just what I've read. I think the Saints could think about it, but it just makes no sense until you get to the Steelers, to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like it's the NFL draft. Quarterbacks are always going to go high. That's just the way it is.
Right.
But just looking at the situations, a lot of places just didn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't. But I think we're going to see either a run at quarterback or receiver. Someone's going to reach for one of those positions, and then it's just going to start a frenzy.
I think there could be more receivers than we even have drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest with you guys. I would be very, very shocked if Treylon Burks falls past number 20. I mean, I might just be really high on him.
Where would you have him? Would you have him over Olave?
Yeah. So just to be quick with it, my receiver rankings go Garrett Wilson, Treylon Burks, Drake London, Jameson Williams because he's coming off injury, and then Olave.
Okay.
So I have Olave 5th.
Okay.
I'll pull mine up right now.
You can flip them either way.
Mine is Wilson, Burks, Olave, London, Williams. And then he who shall not be named, that BJ knows who I'm talking about.
He'll be a day 3 player.
He'll be a day 3 guy. I don't want to put his name out there right now, but I have him a lot higher than.
You gotta tell me who it is. What school?
No, the only reason he's not telling you is because we're in a dynasty league, and if anybody watches this, they're gonna know Tuds sleeper for our
okay.
And that can't happen.
Draft. That makes sense.
Borey, I'll text you.
Please do.
I love that player, Andrew. I love the player.
I can't.
Me and BJ found out we both had the same exact sleeper, and we made a trade where I excluded him from drafting him in the trade. So that's how much I want. That's how much I want him.
That's awesome. Yep. I love it.
Yep.
Well, Kyle, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you, guys. I'll come on anytime you guys want me. This is a lot of fun.
All right.
Yeah, great draft.
I enjoyed
it. Very great draft. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the BJ and Tuds show. Tune in next time.